Luckily for you, I didn't even hear the music because I had my sound turned off.
Well, it was a lovely jazz that I think I've just started to use for everything. So,
I have heard it before. I heard
yeah.
it like right at the beginning and like it was pretty good. It's pretty good.
hmm Yeah, I think
I do
you heard
hope
it yesterday. Yeah, I think you heard it yesterday. You told me that you liked it.
oh,
So,
maybe. I do hope that like some of that stuff you were doing like behind the curtain that you recorded that for the next embarrassing video that you make of things that happen behind the curtain.
yeah, that was being recorded. No,
Good.
I take that back. It was not. It was not. It wasn't on the screen yet. So, sorry. Do you want me to restart? Because I think because I couldn't talk to you. I think you didn't know. I had my hands like this. So, I was doing like
Oh yeah, I'm like really freezing over here too.
it's the Charlie Brown like
Yeah.
also I'm cold.
Yeah.
Was it not like 5 minutes ago we were saying it is so hot, it's like the devil's butthole around here, and now we're like, I'm so cold, my fingies are freezing.
Yeah, I noticed too. We must have like coordinated our black sweatshirts. I finally like you guys always see me in that gray sweatshirt when it's sweatshirt season, and I was like, it's time to add another color. So now I'm on with black. But it still looks
Yeah.
relatively the same,
hmm
you
You
know.
want to know what's
Just
funny? I have a purple sweatshirt, a heathered. And my husband has a gray heathered sweatshirt, and they're those
Mhm.
cheap, like Champion, buy them at Walmart zip up things. I don't even know if they're. They may not be Champion. Anyway, the other day he yells at me because I'm wearing his, and I'm like, I am not wearing yours. This is purple, and he's like, No, that's gray. And I'm like, No, dude, this is purple. We argued about it for like 10 minutes.
And never came to a
I
conclusion.
determined it was my sweatshirt because it said like, oh, it was Hanes for her, whereas his just
I
says
was gonna say,
Hanes.
like, wouldn't this? I'm assuming there's probably a size difference between the two of you.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
but we didn't have the two shirts to compare, so I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things. Like the longer you live with somebody, the more you become like them.
Well, I would also say, like, it would also like be totally plausible that you did steal his sweatshirt because that's what women do. We steal
Mm-hmm.
like our partners. Like most of the sweatshirts I've had in my life have come from boyfriends,
Mm,
whether they wanted me to have them or not. You
yeah,
know.
I'm familiar with that, but yeah, no, I'm 90% certain it was my shirt. It had faded to the point that it looked like his.
So we're
Anyway,
here.
we're here.
It is the first stream of January.
I know. I cannot believe this. It's crazy.
we we were just talking about how we were like, oh, we've got all these great like free streams to do, extra stuff and look at stuff and what's up. And Steph was saying like, oh, we're doing a book. Like we're starting a book now. Well, never mind.
Well, we do still have some stuff to talk about.
Yes, we have stuff.
Since
But
we're not
we
reading it yet, but we have to have. I hope you have our assignment ready.
I have an assignment. And I noticed that like right when you started the stream tonight, we like immediately had like a little pile in. So I'm assuming people are like really excited to
Yay!
get. I mean, I hope you guys are excited. I'm excited to reading. And yes, mine looks different because this is the US cover and Stephanie has the UK cover. But it's the same book, I promise.
Mm-hmm.
Um so I hope you guys have gotten it. Like our lovely friend LJ and Marodim and Janet. Um
Beautiful.
we're gonna take 8 weeks with this book because it's more text heavy than picture heavy. Although there's some really great, like in the center flaps, some really great photos and stuff to look at. So, for our very first day back discussing a book, will be the 14th. We're going to do the preface through chapter one, and that's pages 1 through 33. I always try to keep, 20 to 30-ish pages of reading. And actually, this one broke up really nicely. So,
Oh, nice. Good.
um, all right, Janet, I'm so glad that even though it's like coming a little late, but you won't have any problem catching up. The nice thing is, even though we're still doing 20 to 30-ish pages, this book is significantly smaller in size as to the size of books we're often reading.
Yeah. And I also, this I suspect I know that there does appear to be lots of history in this book, but I also think it's a little bit of narrative too, kind of like storytelling. So I feel like it's probably going to go a little bit faster than, I mean, not to say that, all the other books we read are problematic in any way, but I feel like when you're reading something that's like more fact based, like you really have to put your thinking cap on. And you know, when you're kind of just reading a story, you can, you know, there's, I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying, but
Well, LJ, we're not doing Empire Cotton. Oh, well, Empire Cotton's really big. I am not against doing that. It's only if you guys really wanted to do a book like that, we can totally do a book like that. Those are just often a little more drier because there's not a lot
yeah.
of photo. And we have
Well,
so many big
also,
books out there with photos.
Empire of Cotton being out of print, I don't know how easy that is to get because I first
That's
tried
out
to.
of print.
It's from
You sure?
1924. Of course, it's out
No,
of print.
Empire Cotton's a newer book.
Oh, Heritage of Cotton. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Am I okay? I'm having
Yeah.
yes. Heritage of.
Yeah,
I've
Empire
only
Cotton's
I've
a newer.
only
I'm
read
like, there's no
literally.
way that's out of print. I just saw it in a Barnes and Noble
I
in
have
the last
literally
couple
read half of this book to my stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about this book.
Oh my God, you loser. Like you confused them that bad and you had it right there.
And I bring them both up. I mean, come on. You guys know this about me. The other day I just
So yeah, if people want a more kind of academic, kind of loaded book like that, absolutely. We can do that. Um, I don't think it would be if we stick to like 4 books in a quarterly fashion this year because we have some other stuff going on with the books. Probably wouldn't get to it this year unless it was like the end of the year because I think we almost have everything picked for this year if we stick to what we have already like talked about. So,
well, what I
but yeah,
can say is I have been glancing at it and I did read
Empire
a
of
couple,
Cotton.
yeah, as I'm reading Heritage, and I did pull out some little snippets the other day to read. And so once my art projects are up and running, then I think I'll have more time to go back and do some of that like side by side analysis. Hopefully before I'm done with the book. So don't you worry, LJ. We'll touch on it even if we don't read all of it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. All right. So we did book assignment. We have quite a few little things to get through here. I've got to find what I'm doing with my life. Hold
Well, I didn't
on.
say hi to everybody, so while you're doing that, so
Yes, please
hi
say hi to everybody.
Dim. I am so excited that your book just got here. It's a happy mail day. You know what came today was 2 magazines that I subscribe to, the first issues of the year, so I was excited about that. I read magazines before I go to bed because they seem to be less brain taxing. And Janet, I'm glad yours is coming soon. And LJ, I saw your other email. So I'm glad you guys are here.
Well, there's more chance to be here coming up. Because obviously Steph has her stream on Thursday, and then we're gonna do a stitching glitch on Saturday, which is the day after my birthday.
Yeah.
So we'll have birthday things to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing to mention is on the 25th is the virtual lectures that the Schwenkfelder is doing. I'll pop that up in a second. And then at the end of the month here, we have AQSG virtual seminar, which is something that we're going to talk about. So, because we always have to look at the calendar because there are interesting calendar things to look at. Okay.
And if we
So,
don't, I forget.
that's true. Yeah, you guys, I just do this for Stephanie.
Pretty much,
It really has nothing to do with you. It's to let her know where she's supposed to be in the next so many days. So yeah, we're doing tea and textiles with Caroline. I've attended this is it just 2 years, 3 years, something like that.
Yeah, I know my mom went to it. I want to say it was year before last. She participated in it.
Mm-hmm.
But I have not. This will be my first time, so I'm excited.
The Schwenkfelder is where Stephanie and I attend the Penn Dry Goods Market that we have talked to you guys about. It's really, really good. I kind of feel it's like an AQSG seminar light. It's antique show meets lecture series. It's just 2 days. So if you wanted to like see if you like that kind of thing before like putting in the time and money to go to seminar, this would be something to try. It's really a lot of fun. And different people lecture, it seems. Like it's not that everyone does the same thing. But anyways, so we've got 3 lectures here within a bonus lecture, $50. And this is so cool because they have a rock, paper, scissors theme. I know you've probably heard me say this, but just for anybody that hasn't been around The lectures look very interesting this time around. Sometimes you might not always love everything going on. Paper sampler sounds just like really cool. And then our friend Dawn, she has a
Yay!
lecture about scissors. So I actually have to send her a picture of scissors. Anywho, so we got that going on. And
Yes.
then
And real quick, I put the link in the chat, although Jill will update the description also. So
mhm,
if you're coming in after the fact, it'll be there in the
yes,
episode
don't
description.
don't fret.
Yeah.
So the big thing that Steph and I are doing all kinds of stuff behind the scenes for in this month. Steph is a busy bee. Is a virtual seminar for AQSG. This is open to members and non-members. Um,
Hmm.
there will be a link that appears in the description later for non-member registration. I just don't have that yet in my hands, so I can't give it to Steph.
Does it come
Um,
out? Non-member registration comes out after, like member registration is first, right? And then, or
member
they do.
registration has already been going on.
That's right. Yeah. So
Non-member
okay, that's it.
non-member technically starts on Friday, but
Gotcha.
Carrie wanted us to have a link to go, ready to go. So
Gotcha. Okay.
if you're seeing this,
The fact
probably
that
see.
I only registered in when we were doing trial stuff and not actually legit registered. Yeah.
Well, the nice thing is that since this is digital, they're not going to run out of things
Yeah.
like they do with in-person seminar, and there's caps on things like that. So there's lots of like really awesome things going on here. You have study centers. They run two per slot. So you got, first one here, Tara Miller. She did her study center also at seminar. I
Hmm.
didn't get to see it because I was on a tour, I think.
Yeah, I missed
But
it too. But my mom sat in on it. She said it was very good.
yeah, she's doing the work of Jean Ray Laurie, which if you have been around since Mary Fonz was doing her stream, you
Yep.
have heard quite a lot about her.
Yep.
I won't read all of these to you, but I just wanted to draw your attention to the fact, looking here, that there's two names under each time slot. And then we've got new this time around are a couple of little 1 hour things. Specifically, Susie Jerome is doing Textiles 101, the basics, because there's been some
Hmm.
talk about people wanting a little bit of an intro if they're coming into the group and yeah, I want to sit in on it too, just
Yeah,
because
I mean, as much
you
as
just
I
never know.
know, there's so much I don't know, and I'm constantly
Mhm.
going like, "What is that?" So yeah, I'm excited when Susie said she was going to do that. I was like, "I will be there."
The other thing to mention too, I'm not sure about every single study center offered, but the majority will be recorded and available to you after the fact. So if you can't come the 30th to the 2nd, if you can't commit to those days, don't fret. Just sign up and you'll get links. So the other thing that's new this year, this time around, is on-demand content. Stephanie and I have had a lot to do with this. So it's a lot of paper presentations from in-person seminar. They paid money to have them recorded. Stephanie is editing those videos.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
looking to see. I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's the correct name." Sorry, I was getting ready to cough and then laugh at the same time. Um, there are three Kathys, and two of them I think had opted not to have their
their stuff
presentations
recorded.
recorded,
Mhm.
and I was like, "Oh no, there's three of them. Which one is it?"
Well, there you go. So there's also study centers that were recorded. One of them was Stephanie's Welcome to the Sooniverse. Man, I should have had that. I should have had that Sue graphic up. Um, Beth Donaldson's is about the Quilt Index, which I
Mhm.
couldn't go to that one, so I'm really excited that that was recorded because I need some I need some oomph in the Quilt Index. And the
Yeah,
other one was Rabbit Goodies, which
yeah.
I actually had registered for, but ended up feeling kind of sick and went back to my room to lay down. But I heard it was phenomenal, so I'm really excited to
You
see
know, it
that.
was very good, and I know it's a little going to be a little bit of a challenge because it is virtual and not to be there in person. But what I can tell you, even not touching the textiles she brought at all, just listening to her talk, she is absolutely brilliant. I mean, I could have sat in her lecture and just been amazed without a piece of fabric in my hand. So consider it. It's a really good one.
Mhm.
And I mean, the video does show the quilts and things that she's talking
Mhm.
about, but um, we
I mean,
understand.
there's always going to be a trade-off for stuff that's
It is.
virtual.
It is. But yeah, I
Hmm.
would say it is a fantastic. Hers is really fantastic. So if you had to choose
Mardim
between
said
hers
that
and
this,
mine, do hers.
something because, well, I mean, because these are on demand, they can pick everything if they.
This
But
is
Mardim
true.
said
Yeah.
that this is literally sandwiched between her birthday and wedding anniversary. You're the 29th. Well, hello, January baby. We're the best ones. So,
Mm,
yeah.
mm.
So anyhow, Stephanie and I also did social media training. It went really well. We had really good reviews on that. I would recommend it if you don't know what you're doing, but I will tell you it's very basic. So if you feel pretty comfy, it's really not for you. Of course, we would absolutely love the appreciation, but don't feel that you have to sign up for that just to appreciate us if you know what you're doing. We had a couple of friends come in and we're like, "You guys, this is way too basic for you." And they're like, "We're here to support you." And we were like, "Okay, well if the room fills up, we have to kick you out." It's like the room wasn't ginormous. So,
Yeah.
anyways. You also can watch the keynote speaker, Dr. Myra Brown Green. I don't think I'm oh, was that also the night I wasn't feeling well? I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure you were there.
Was I there? There's so many things, you guys, that happen at in-person seminar. Like I need a schedule after the fact for like all the things that I went to, not just the schedule of
Yeah.
like all the things that are happening, because it's a lot. You also get luncheon speakers. One was Meg Cox, the other one was Yannick and Smucker. You get Nancy Bavor's address, highlights from the live auction, and then here is a brand new concept we're playing with, which is virtual museum tours. Now, you guys have seen stuff that I've done here, taking stuff out of, NEQM or stuff when she was doing, Baltimore Museum of Art and things. It's not going to be exactly like that. It's not going to be like a discussion where we're zooming and things like that. I did kind of want something kind of like that, but I just don't think at this moment it's going to work out well that way. So it's going to be more of like a video guided semi tour uh I'm pretty sure it's going to be hosted privately on YouTube. You need to buy and get a link to get into it. You can't just get into it. And there will be some narration, at least for mine, from Pam Weeks. Um, but it's a test to see how this works. It benefits both organizations.
Mm-hmm.
It's collaborative, and we're doing New England Quilt Museum, Virginia Quilt Museum, uh, the IQM, and Rocky Mountain Quilt Museum.
Cool.
So it's gonna be there's a lot of stuff. The stuff I will tell you from New England Quilt Museum is not stuff I have shown. It's all the last exhibits from 2024, and you have not seen them here. So
But they're
don't
very
worry.
good because I have,
Yeah.
because I'm editing the video.
Yeah. Steph is in charge of the video. Well, after you guys, after her making that anniversary video for us, she's now officially the video person. If you guys
Well,
haven't watched that video,
I was
you need
the
to watch that
video
video.
person before then. And just to let you know, I'm glad everybody loves that anniversary video. It also is super janky, and the videos that I'm doing for AQSG are much more professional.
Okay, I don't think that thing's janky at all. Would you just stop it?
Well,
If
I
you
have
guys
to be a
haven't
little
watched the
self-deprecating.
anniversary show, you totally should because you get to watch me live react to Stephanie's recap video, which is hysterical. If you don't have time though to watch that whole replay, you can just watch a highlight video, which is 9 minutes. It's in just the videos, not the live stuff. That's just that recap video. It's awesome. I
Let's say
watched it like nine times.
let's not call it janky. Let's call it ridiculous. It was ridiculous. I think you could give it that, right?
It's endearing and it's Stephanie and I thought it was awesome. So
Thank you. And thank you to all the people
anyhow.
that have watched it and given me feedback, and a lot of people have said it was funny and they enjoyed it. So, thank you.
Yeah, so it's also good if everybody keeps in mind like things you would want to see on a highlight reel for later because now that we're going to pay better attention at like the cute and funny and great stuff that happens It'll just keep getting better.
Yeah,
I'm
I think
sorry, everyone, that I had to pop a cough drop in my mouth. I'm feeling kind of weird. I'm hoping it's just nothing, but just so you know.
if she
Oh,
runs
Martin said
away,
the
I have
Jill
to take this
reacts.
show over.
Oh yeah, if I do run away, just Martin said the Jill reacts were just as good as the video.
Oh yes, that was the highlight for me, was watching you like just lose your mind over there. I was like, Kate did a good job. Okay.
Yeah, I'm so glad I didn't watch that ahead of time when you told me I could. Anyways, so yeah, you guys definitely want to give this a shot. If you think that in-person seminar is a little out of your price range, I understand. It is expensive. It is a vacation kind of trip that you're going to. But if you want to get your feet wet, like you really should give this a try. There's going to be a virtual welcome reception, and there's going to be kind of like breakout Zoom rooms that I understand for people to mingle and mix. Um, you guys won't be bored, and there's really great stuff. Like, I mean, look at here. You've got how to repair cotton quilts. If you got stuff in your collection, just saying. Tell them, tell them we sent you. Okay, I'm done. I'm done being weird about that.
All
Um,
right.
there. Before I get into an auction thing, you have a little something that we were talking about earlier.
What were we talking about earlier? Oh crap.
That textile website that you looked up while we were on
Oh
the
yes,
phone.
yes, yes. I'm sorry. Yes. Okay. So would you like me to share my screen?
How's your head been with you all day today?
No, not at all. Um. Let's see. So you want me to share my screen for that?
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm.
Martin, I will say, having attended twice, I don't ever notice it being a very perfumey scenario.
Uh-oh.
Just, what are you doing?
When I share, it does weird stuff. So, when you're sharing
And
your
you are
own,
over
your
there
own
making
screen.
fun of me for Inception.
Hope everybody enjoyed that look at my desktop.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what would you how would you like me to navigate in this?
So
About?
I had been looking at books I had gotten for Christmas, and I really like to snoop around in the back about the author, their bibliography, things like that, and kind of like I often find different things out in the world. Hi, Robin. And from there I found this, and they have like a publication and things like that, and I thought you guys would really like to know about that. I will say their publication is on the pricier side, but and
Yeah.
Steph, you said that you found out this was in the UK, right?
Well, it's not clear to me. Actually, let's see. It
Well, look at that. They have a symposium too.
Yeah, I mean this is an American organization, but it appears that they use a UK.
Oh, publisher.
Yeah, I'm trying to see, where did I see the person who
Contact us.
am I Can't you ever move this thing? No, I'm looking for where the journal was. I looked at that and then maybe it comes up under when you go to symposia.
Membership? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it looks very interesting. It looks like they've kind of got the same kind of vibe as AQSG, but they're textiles,
Mm-hmm.
and not just one specific type of textile. Although honestly, we look at a lot more stuff than quilts. So I
Yeah.
mean, I have to say AQSG is not just quilts. It's a lot of
Well,
stuff that's quilt adjacent and quilty.
well, just looking at this 2024 Textile Society American the symposium thing, like the theme shifts and strands, rethinking the possibilities and potentials of textiles. Like that right there says quite a lot.
Ah, here we go. It's just a
Um,
journal.
yeah, there was a journal.
Mm-hmm. Move this over here. Yeah,
There
so
we
yes,
go.
this is
Wow.
it. Yeah, and so I'm guessing that there must be a lot of people outside of the U.S. that
Mm-hmm.
maybe participate because they have Great Britain and Europe represented in their pricing. So,
That
yeah.
other one underneath there, textile, cloth, and culture. That one looks like just that the title
Mhm.
makes me like, hmm.
Mhm. Yeah. And then textile history. Oh, I love when there's like a some type of garb or historical costuming on because I know I'm like that's gonna be good, whatever it is.
Hmm. Yeah. So I wanted to make sure that every other people knew about that
Yeah, and
since we're a very multifaceted group.
yeah, and I was really trying to, and I'll drop this link in too. I was trying to remember, have I seen this before? And I'm not sure that I have ever run into this organization before in my travels, which really surprises me. I mean, I feel like I subscribe to everything under the sun that's textile oriented, but apparently there are
Well,
still things. So
it wouldn't surprise me if like some of our like AQSG friends and stuff know about this and just it just hasn't come up.
oh sure, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, whenever you're ready, you can drop and I
Okay,
will pull up
there.
pull up my next thing.
All right.
Okay, okay, okay. So our friend Jen, who I haven't seen in the chat, I don't know if she's lurking. There's a thing, I did ask her to do this, but I have a real love-hate for when the emails arrive. And I was like, hey, look for auctions and things because she peruses auctions often a lot more than I am.
She's here. She's
So keep
lurking.
your eye out. Oh, hello there, lurker. So yeah, she sent one the other day. It was like, hey, here's some auctions, and it's like, thank you, but grr.
Yeah, and I was like, oh no, Dana's auction's up. Oh, and I mean, I get her emails anyway, so it wasn't like I can't blame Jen for this, but um, yeah, it
Dana's gonna
makes me
be busy
sad
too.
because beginning of the year brokeness, and there's guys, check this out. There's 17 bicentennial quilts in this auction. Sorry,
Among other
spoiler
things.
alert. Spoiler
Hmm.
alert.
And she's gonna be a busy gal because this auction is on the 25th. She does the live calling,
Mhm.
even with online auctions. And then she's doing the virtual seminar also has a smaller auction attached to it as well that we do on
Mhm.
Sunday, I believe. So it's
Yeah.
another thing. You could come just to do that. And apparently this year, Stephanie and I are going to do a live stream watch party of the auction with Julie Silber.
Yes, it's gonna be so much fun.
So if you guys want to attend seminar and things like that, but you don't want to participate in the auction maybe, or you just want to hang out, like you could just come and hang out with us on that side. I'm not sure where we'll be streaming that. I'm assuming it would be AQSG's YouTube page.
Hmm.
More info to come on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we will be discussing quilts
Yeah,
live with Julie
and
Silber.
it's gonna be a public. It's not private, so it's gonna be a
Hmm.
public thing. The auction itself is public. Dana doesn't make it private just for AQSG. There are special perks for AQSG members, like shipping and that kind of thing. But
She
um,
also waives the buyer's premium, which is the
yeah,
big
so
deal.
for members, yeah. So it's anybody can attend this, and certainly we'd love it. The more people that'll join us, and like the energy over the auction, even
Hmm.
if you're not interested in bidding.
Yeah, I mean, we can just sit here and yak. Like, I mean, these aren't the quilts in that particular in the AQSG auction, but like, oh my God, this
I
quilt.
know. Look at that thing. It's gorgeous.
And a $10 starting bid. Like, that's one great thing about Dana's auctions is her
Hmm.
starting bids are always low. Her estimate, obviously this is probably gonna go for a decent amount of money,
Oh
although
yeah. I'd
I've
be
been wrong
shocked.
before.
Well, yes. We cannot understand
Hmm.
what's going on with auction prices sometimes, but yeah, I think Dana's consistently she's really good about her estimates. She knows what she's doing, and
Hmm.
she's usually right on the money.
We've already got 35 bidders here watching this item.
Yeah.
Ugh, ugh, look at all the color placements.
And it looks like around the medallion, the center, there's a like a row of them, and well, yeah, in the middle there too, they're fussy cut. It looks like there's a good deal of fussy cutting in there. Yep.
Oh my
See,
goodness,
they
look at
fussy cut
this oyster.
all of those little conversation prints.
Oh,
Yep.
look at this signature quilt.
Oh my gosh! I just realized those are all signatures. For some reason,
Mhm.
I truly thought that was the fabric. Wow.
And look, it's all signatures inside the white like triangle diamonds too.
Wow.
Triangles. Oh, it's on all the colors. I thought it was just the white ones.
Wow.
So here they played a game. How many signatures can we fit?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh, we even got some
And there's
fancy stuff.
oh, so it's got the details on it. It's Christ Reformed Church. What is it? Something Society. Oh, wow.
Let's see what's in the description down here. Over 700 embroidered name inscriptions. Yeah, they probably gave up counting at
That's probably
700.
the entire society in Pennsylvania.
Jefferson, Pennsylvania. It measures 80 by 84. Hand piece, hand embroidered, hand quilted. Thin cotton batting. Let's see. Very interesting. Yeah, so on some of these online platforms, auction houses have to raise their buyer's premium because they have to cover the cost of the thing. But um, I if you wanted to bid, Dana uses Bid Spirit for the AQSG auction, and then like that buyer's premium is waived for members. It's great.
And lower
She's
for
very
non-members.
generous. Huh?
And lower than live auctions if you're not a member.
Mm-hmm. Look at this one. Look at this like cut work
Oh
kind of
my
like
gosh,
cherry
that is so
pointness,
cool.
whatever I don't even know what you'd call this.
Yeah. Does she have a real close up of those? Because I'm curious to know how it's finished. Like, is it a binding?
Yeah, it looks like a binding.
Oh my goodness. Sometimes these makers, I'm like, what were you thinking, girl?
I mean, for all you know, by the end, they thought the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
This one's just so cool. Oh, it's so cute. I keep having to like
And
move
that's
stuff.
that either those pieces are very large or that's really tiny binding. And I'm guessing maybe it's a little of both because it looks, is it a crib quilt or does it say? It's either very large square quilt or it's
69 by 69.
okay.
The star center is 49 inches. The fan border is 8.5 inches.
It's about that big. You know, those of you who've seen me,
You almost look like you were getting like a football like goal.
I'm like, those of you who have seen me in person, you know approximately how big my head is. So that's how big that border is.
Yeah, there's just some really awesome. I mean, we've recently talked all kinds of star
That
quilts. And this
yes,
one's
that wool
about
Shally.
wool.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. That purple, and then the all the kind of different pinks, and I guess maybe it's a cream. I don't know if they're faded or what, but yeah. I scrolled through these the other day, and I told Jen, I was like, no, tears, tears, tears. They're too beautiful.
Yeah, that crazy binding, Maradim's like, that maker had to have been mumbling never again by that binding.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also am like really enjoying this one here. It's just so simple.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something about it that just
I don't know that I would call a triple Irish chain simple necessarily, but
no, but in terms of like it's not like the last one we looked at, like it's not a really complex pattern. Um, I think I like the scrappiness is probably why, because a lot of
yeah,
Irish chains I'm often looking at are just two color
yeah.
quilts.
Mm-hmm.
So I
These
think this
baskets are
one
pretty
here,
nice too.
of course, we're always looking at the baskets. I think this one's really cool.
Lost Children quilt.
It actually like reminds me of like something contemporary
Is that what the
that I've seen.
pattern is called, or
Well, no, let's find out. Or maybe it's hiding lost children. Let's see.
I guess that the pink and is it the pink and yellow one is I guess that pattern is Lost Children.
Maybe. What a weird pattern name.
Yeah. And then alternating with framed square blocks. So yeah, that with the half square triangles, I guess that would be the frame square. Interesting. I've never
I've never heard of that block.
I've never heard that name, but I mean, that block does look familiar to me.
Mm-hmm.
But oh, yes, the fabrics. I mean, these are, those fabrics that we always see in these Pennsylvania quilts. I mean, I assume this is a Pennsylvania quilt. I didn't look closely, but Thousand Pyramids.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Well, interesting.
Anyway,
It's
it's
really
gorgeous.
vibrant.
Gorgeous,
Yeah, it's
vibrant, and I
really.
love all those colors.
And of course, you're over here loving some baskets.
Yeah, I've
Wow,
caught
look at
that.
that quilting.
Yeah, I've caught that bug from my mother. My mother loves basket quilts, and I have to say, they're pretty nifty. Yeah, that is pretty quilting, and it's
Is
it's
it
red.
red?
I think it must be red thread. It looks like it's probably red.
Let me see.
There's a close
Yeah,
up
it
of a
has to be.
handle that might be.
Let's see, measuring. Yeah,
Yes.
quilted in red thread.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's very striking.
Yeah. Hmm.
We got a little wonky over here,
Well,
but you
you
know what?
know.
That's endearing. It's endearing. Obviously, we can't look at every single one, but oh, look at this one. Mm-mm-mm. 1845.
That's early.
Ooh, look at that fabric. I haven't like
Oh.
super duper looked through things here on purpose.
Same.
Because, yeah, because like there's just, and this isn't even, there's other auctions too going on this month, which half of me, I mean, I haven't sat and asked anyone like deep questions. Um, I'll tell you guys a little, oh my God, look at that fussy cutting. I'll tell you guys a little secret. Like Steph and I were just throwing stuff out there. And the other day I was like, maybe we should try to go down to Dana's this year and like see if she'll tell us all about what life is like as an auctioneer for the stream.
Hmm.
Because I think that would be kind of cool,
I
especially
think
with
that would be
quilts.
cool too. And I think that, unless she's like super busy and just doesn't have time, I'm pretty sure Dana would say yes because, you know, she's nice like that.
Hmm.
But I think
Yeah,
I
that,
think
oh,
she would
look
be
at that fussy
excited.
cutting.
That is cool. That is very cool. I think she would be excited to share, what she
Hmm.
does and what a day is
Well, and
like.
one of
Yeah.
one of the things I would ask her is like, why do you guys do so many auctions, meaning multiple places, in January when statistically people are broke?
I know.
Like,
Yeah. That fussy cut with the little bars, that one is
hmm
very skillful.
hmm I really like this
Yes, that
wig
wig rose.
rose.
It reminds me of the wig rose I got last year at the AQSG auction, the virtual
Oh,
auction.
that's right, you
Hmm.
did.
Yeah, I mean, it is different than this one. It doesn't have that piece in the middle. But yeah, I mean, it's
Do they normally have this bud? I don't remember them normally having a bud like that.
some of them do. That one's real pointy.
Hmm
That one almost looks like it's a piece, like a pieced piece. Like it's very like straight, whereas I mean, it looks like just like a diamond. Whereas I think mine is,
Look at all this
rounded.
quilting in here.
It's
All
really
kinds
pretty.
of different motifs. Hmm.
Yeah. Dr. Dutton wrote a piece about Wig Rose. It never got published. Um, I don't know that he had anything particularly useful to say, but it was an interesting read. And he really did like the Wig Rose. He thought it was a cool pattern.
Yeah, I do like it too. You know, I like me some plaid. Oh, wow, those fabrics are pretty.
I know. Yeah, those are really nice.
Yeah, I just love me. Oh, wow, that blue is really striking. Dana also takes really awesome
She
photos of
does, and
stuff.
we may have mentioned this before, but I think she said they take their pictures in the dark. They
Yep,
hang these in a lightless room, and the only thing that's lighting these up is
the
flash.
flash.
And
Yeah.
yeah, so in terms of photography, like they know what they're doing, so they can be in a
Mhm.
completely dark room.
Look, there's another red basket. If you like, if someone wanted to get their basket collection going, this would be a decent auction to do that. You could have two different variations
Hmm.
right from the
And there's
get-go.
there's baskets full of tulips.
Yeah.
So Robin said, one of my grandfathers was an auctioneer. It would be exciting to hear Dana's perspective. Yeah, and it's, I mean, interesting. Like not just another person's perspective as an auctioneer, but also she's a woman in this profession. And while I
Yep.
think there's probably more and more women, in than there may have been in the past, I think she's still probably a minority. I feel like usually when you see auctions, it's maybe a man as the auctioneer, and then his wife might help out if it's like a
The
private thing.
sidekick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the wife is often a sidekick, whereas this is Dana's company. I think her
Mm-hmm.
husband does do some assistance, but he's
Mm-hmm.
not. He's not running the company. It's her business. So I'm really that's exciting to me. Just
Yep.
girl power.
Yep. Yep. This one here I really like because it reminds me of that yellow quilt that I got at that Maryland auction.
hmm
That was really, this one's very striking.
Yeah, and maybe that's why this is that's what this one is reminding me of. But I feel like I've seen a quilt just like this very recently, and maybe that's the one that we're thinking of.
Hmm. Maybe.
Possibly.
Maybe. I also like this Irish chain here just because it's red and green and it makes me think like Christmassy things. And like because it's January, like it's still acceptable to like mention Christmassy things.
No, I
This
don't.
one
I don't
though
agree.
was very cool. You know what? I didn't ask for your opinion. So it's my birthday month. My opinions are more important. This one's really cool.
Yes, I thought this one was cool, and this one almost, even though it's 1880s, it has like a primitive vibe to it. It's almost like
Hmm.
I don't know I don't know if it's the colors, because it's red and green, but it's not
Well,
really
you
red and
know what
green.
it
It's like
reminds me of? It reminds me of those pieces you see, where I see them at the Schwenkfelder gift shop. And they're that cut paper kind of stuff,
mm-hmm,
or it will be painted on.
mm-hmm,
Um, and to me, this picture, they're often smaller. And when I look at this, I think like, oh, it's a small little one. And that's probably why I think it's so cool. Because I'm like, oh, it's like
mm-hmm.
the big version of that. Let me see if there's anything interesting here in the hello cursor. Like, let's get our stuff together here. I also, yeah, the swag, the border is really
Mm-hmm.
cool with the
Oh, so that background is yellow. That's not just cream. It says oxblood and teal fabrics on a yellow ground.
hmm,
So it must be a pale yellow.
oxblood. That's a cool color name. Believed to be from Lancaster County because like all the cool stuff tends to be.
Yeah, I sometimes look at quilts, on any of the auction houses that are East Coast, and I feel like they all come from Pennsylvania. There'll be like a few from New England. They have in New York. They have very specific looking quilts that were big in those areas. But I don't know. You come down to it, Pennsylvania back in the day was cranking the quilts out for sure.
Mm-hmm. This pineapple is very interesting too.
What is that
I
light
wonder,
color? What is that fabric or fabrics? Oh,
it
it's
almost
like
looks
a
30s.
yeah. They're all little
This blue here.
florals. Oh, how
And like
exciting!
some shirtings. There's definitely some shirtings in
Mm-hmm.
there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, this like blue often makes me think of 30s.
Yeah, I like that. That's pretty. I would
Um,
not have guessed that those were shirtings and those little floral prints.
there you go. There's a good picture.
hmm Oh,
Oh,
I
that's so
love that
cute.
the one with the star. That's a little super
Yeah,
one. I like that.
that's really cute. One thing I was really excited about this auction was there is a mix of stuff in here
There is.
that's very interesting. I love this pattern. I have a quilt like this that's like got a lot of red in it. That pattern's
hmm
so cool. Let's see. I go kind of slow just because I don't want to make anyone sick. This applique is very interesting too.
Yeah, that's another one of those ones where
Colonial Revival Tulip.
yeah, you almost wonder. So this would probably be the 20s. Colonial
Hmm, let's
revival
see.
is typically that's the return of
Yep.
the 20s.
Circa 1920.
Um, this one looks to me like it's not a it's a maker made pattern, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I mean, I could be wrong, totally, but
Well, let's
you know,
see.
it just doesn't look like it. Does it say?
16.
Hmm. I don't see anything about a pattern.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just strikes me as that somebody wanted something very specific looking, or they saw something and said, I have this vision of how I want to execute this, and that's what this looks like to me. Because
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen this configuration of a tulip. You know, that center with those two curved pieces is very ubiquitous. Lots and lots of tulip quilts out of Pennsylvania, you know, the Pennsylvania Dutch. Definitely you see that little device, but these long stems and that leafy, that's not something I've ever seen before like that.
Mm-hmm.
Of
Agreed.
course, I act like I've seen a million quilts.
Yeah, I mean, it's just,
I've
yeah, it
only
is
seen,
possible. We just haven't seen them yet.
I was gonna say, I've only seen 999,999 quilts. I haven't gotten to a million yet.
Oh, look, here's a quilt with your
I
rabbit
missed
there.
that. Oh, I
Wow,
missed that.
Stephanie, of all the things,
Well, I was trying to look through quickly. I did open a few of them, but I think probably we're getting around to the bicentennial quilts, and that's when I was like, I don't care about the rest of this stuff. So,
yeah, this elongated hexagon I think is really cool too. But also, I just want like everything that's blue. And applique. I really like the border on this one. Like it's not in the world's best condition, but the border is really cool. It looks like that really I don't know what kind it's called, but like those vines that are super leafy.
mm-hmm,
That's what it looks like to me. So then you got some lots down here that have more than one quilt in it or tops.
mm-hmm.
Um
There's my
here
eagle.
yeah, here's one thing that I was like, wow, that's cool. I know Steph doesn't have that eagle quilt, right? You don't have this.
I do not, and this is one. Can you open it? Because I did not. I didn't read it. I was in a hurry. I was rushing through, but I did not read the details, so I don't know if it said it's a kid quilt.
By Lee Wards
Is that where are you seeing that?
up top.
Oh, in the first sentence. Okay,
I
so
won't
that
tell
yeah.
anyone that you can't read.
Um, yeah. So this one is one I'm not familiar with. But it does say it's from the estate of Bobby Ogg, where my other eagle kit quilt came from. So yeah, I
This
might
one's
have to.
very cool.
It is. I may have to like. I don't know.
Well, at least make sure that you just like keep a record of the listing
Oh,
just
for
for your
sure.
research.
Yeah. I think
Mhm.
I'm trying to remember. Did I? I don't think I took a screenshot of it yet, but I will.
This
Um,
one has a really badass eye too.
I know. I love it
I
when
feel like a
eagle
lot
has
of
like a
them,
really
like,
piercing
do they
eye.
not even have eyes?
Some of them I have seen. Not. It'll be something very primitive looking. Um,
This compass star is really cool. Those are some really
yeah.
long looking skinny spokes.
And it always those types of that type of piecing a lot of times, especially that early 1840,
Mm-hmm.
that was probably pieced, like entirely
Mm-hmm.
pieced, not
Yeah.
piece that center and applique it down. But no, we're gonna make these very tight curves to applique.
Yeah.
What they were thinking, but they
Oh,
made
Jen
beautiful
said the
quilts.
eagle quilts maybe need to be reunited. Jen, wait, does that mean that you're offering to buy it for?
Ooh. Here's hoping that nobody is into eagle quilts right now. Oh.
Here's some more Bobby Ogg quilts.
I think some of these were they made by Bobby Ogg. I think they were
Yep.
made by Bobby Ogg. Yeah.
Yep.
All right,
Yeah.
here we
Oh,
go.
look at that. Um, oh, Jen says she likes the eagle quilt.
Jen, I don't
Well,
want
at
to
least
have
if
to.
she has it, it's close enough for you to visit it.
I could in theory visit it, but also I don't want to have to fight you. I really like you
Um,
too much for that, but no friends in auctions.
wait, does that mean you're actually planning to bid on it?
I don't know. We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, because I
Um,
was gonna say, like, I feel like you had said, like, no, here's another
yeah, I
eagle.
had said none. Yeah, that one's interesting because that's the Great Seal. The one right above it, that bicentennial star quilt. I mean, you probably all guys recognize that. That's the bicentennial symbol for 1976. That was the
Mm-hmm.
U.S. said, "Here we go. This is it. This is our symbol."
Mm-hmm.
They do have one for next year, by the way. If you haven't checked that out, Google it. There's another eagle on that
Yeah.
that Americana eagle, and
So is this one cross stitch?
I think so.
Yeah, it looks like
Um,
cross.
yeah, and then I want to say there's one more that has an eagle in it. I think, but
Won't
that
you,
was very nice. You know.
the border on this makes me think that it's the same people that did cross stitch and the way they did their border there, it's the same border similar that was on the Baltimore album cross stitch quilt that I sold to someone in the chat.
That is Paragon then.
There you go. But yeah, it doesn't say here if it's Paragon or not.
And it's interesting how this says design adapted from the original quilt at the Smithsonian. There are several eagle quilts at the Smithsonian, and I just have not had time yet to take all of the images because there's multiple quilts that say that's where they're taken from, and just lay them all out and just be like, yes, I see where they're from.
So, it's funny. So, one of the exhibits that is in the New England Quilt Museum virtual gallery tours is this quilt in blue.
Oh.
Because the last exhibit that was in the our permanent collection gallery was called Talking Politics.
Yes.
And
yeah.
it was all kinds of quilts. And
so then
they have this in blue.
Well, this is the 80s. So, but
Mhm.
then are these based on, I mean, is this a pattern? I mean,
Yep. It's all the presidents throughout history.
mm-hmm.
It's very cool.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is.
Yeah. I just thought that was funny going through this, and I'm like, oh, look at that.
Yeah, you don't have to click on it, but can you scroll up again? So this one it's Bell and Eagle quilt right there. Is it the same thing that's like 2 rows up, I think?
This one?
That's the other eagle I was talking about, but no, keep going up. I think it's on the far right. Keep going up.
This?
Up.
Because that one has an eagle too. There's lots of eagleness in here.
I think the Hilliard Elementary, it looks like that the eagle and the bell are very similar in those two, and I'm wondering if it's a pattern or somebody drafted them, and the quilts are from the same.
That looks like a pretty big booty eagle.
So Robin says she thinks it was an Aunt Martha pattern set.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I mean, Aunt Martha, you could, especially in the 80s, you could probably guess Aunt Martha for a lot of stuff because a lot of those other older companies were not necessarily in the stores the way Aunt Martha was.
Mm-hmm. So much red, white, and blue.
I know. It's almost, you kind of get tired of looking at it after a while.
Yeah, because it's just so much red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
Look, we get back to other things. This daisy's really neat.
Yeah, so Jen's asking if are all these from one collection. I don't know. I haven't read all of the descriptions of them. And she doesn't always say that, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of feel like they probably are. Oh, does this say? Oh, okay. It's in Sue Reich's book.
Mm-hmm.
These could all be Bobby Ogg, maybe.
They could. Yeah, they could. Because I know, like, Dana had a lot to get through.
Mm-hmm.
Oops, sorry. With the Bobby Ogg collection.
That big 4 tulips, I love that one too.
Mm-hmm.
Those look like the just Pennsylvania Dutch hex symbols that you see when you drive through.
This is an interesting pattern. They're calling it propeller variation.
Mm-hmm.
That's not one I'm often seeing.
Mm-mm.
But it's obviously, like, looking at it now, it's not a difficult block.
It's not. It's just the colors you use.
Mm-hmm.
It's your color choices that make it look the way it does.
Mm-hmm. And then
we've got some Sues. We've got some Sues.
But you know what? Luckily for you, you have them all. Although this one's kind of cool.
Yeah, I don't have them
all. My God.
This one's different.
Look at her bloomers.
I know. Look at her giant dress and her tiny little skinny arm.
And her arm and her hand are the same thing.
They're just
this one's
so
very
yes. That's
this
Sam.
is very endearing.
He's gonna catch that butterfly with that teeny weird little net.
He almost kind of looks like a grandpa.
Thanks, Jen. Yeah. As soon as I was scrolling through, of course I looked at the bicentennials because that's on my mind right now. But then I'm like, oh no, of course there's cute Sues. Dang it. The Sue shelf is just overwhelmed though.
Vintage Nancy Page garden bouquet. That's cute.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's the one that has the different birds.
You know what's really weird? This mountain mist pattern I have never seen in my life.
Oh, I have.
And well, that's nice for you.
Well, no,
So,
I think Mary had it one time on one of her streams.
really? I don't know.
Hmm.
Well, then I don't recall ever seeing it. But
If it
anyways,
wasn't
I
this one, it was
see.
something very similar. So sorry, go ahead.
Oh, so you're wrong.
I don't remember. I don't know.
So
Robin might
I
remember.
I see this in this auction, and then like that same night, I open my Facebook Marketplace, and like this same quilt is in one of the listings.
Oh wow.
And I'm like, I've literally like never seen this pattern before. Like
Isn't it weird when that
that's
happens?
it's so random.
Yeah. I like this pansy one. Um,
That is I just like
yeah.
fancy stuff in
Hmm.
general, but that one is very pretty. Although
Yeah, Robin doesn't remember. Dang it, I
Robin
need you
can't
on my side, Robin.
yeah, Robin can't be the tiebreaker. This star is really
Yes,
cool.
yes. I made note of that when I scrolled through. Oh, I didn't realize it was a
Mhm.
crib quilt. I didn't pay attention to that.
Yeah,
Um,
which means it'll be that much more desirable. Look at those pieced places. Almost kind of looks like a poinsettia.
Now, are the red dots polka dots or are they tufts of batting? Because I know a lot of time, a lot of red has like what if it had a like a brown or a black dot on
Yeah,
it, that's usually gone.
I was just looking at a lot of oh, that's not the right. I was just looking at a lot of prints like that when we did our New England Quilt Study Group Day. It looks like you can see the dots down here.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like there might have been some black
Yeah.
in here, but the yellow is a yellow
Mm-hmm.
dot.
It's a yellow
Yeah.
dot. Yeah. It's like probably like a little flowery little device or something.
Yeah. I think I saw this like exact same fabric. This one also is really I wonder I half of me is like, were these guys right here? Were these two friends? Like
And then there's tents of Armageddon. Get on the ground.
this the border on this one is very interesting. Oh, I guess huh. I guess there is that tulip thing. Obviously, this isn't the Whig rose, this is the Democrat rose, but like there's still that bud on it that I was wondering about with the other one. Yeah, that border, the swag, I like that.
Uh-huh. And I'm wondering why does it say AQSG?
Maybe it came from the proceeds. Oh, it just says the proceeds of the sale will benefit AQSG.
Gotcha. Must be the person that maybe put it in the
Maybe the
auction.
person after they put this in asked her
Mm-hmm.
to put that in because this isn't a part of the AQSG auction, but maybe they just said like, "Hey, keep the proceeds and donate it here." So that's cool.
Yeah, that's a very nice looking quote.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. So now I think we're gonna get into some of the other like cool stuff I mentioned was in this auction. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's lots of
Oh,
fabric.
the fabric. Oh.
Oh, and it's shirting. Shirting and
Mm-hmm.
conversationals. I love shirting
And I
prints.
love the little conversation prints from, late 1800s, early 20th, early 20th century. Like that dog. I've seen
Hmm.
that dog head before. And then I think there's like I don't know, I don't want to say it's a version of that dog, but it's a similar looking dog, but it's like the whole dog's body.
Yep. I've
And there'll
seen
be
that.
like
Yeah.
jockey stuff. I just love those so much.
Hmm.
It's just so precious.
Yeah, for people that either want to get into antique fabric collecting or if you want a stash and you're going to get into quilt repair,
Yeah.
this is an auction you probably want to shop.
Yes. And
Especially like look at all these brown prints.
and do not look
Mm.
at the 5 pound bundles because also had my eye on those. I was thinking I'll make my mom go for those.
One thing I was really excited about are there's quite a few lots here of groups of needlework
Yes.
magazines
Mm-hmm.
that Steph and I often grab when we see them out in antique stores and stuff because one thing, well, there's lots of interesting things in there. You can find quilt
Mm-hmm.
patterns in there, other textile things, but one thing that we really do enjoy are the ads
Mm-hmm.
for quilt related things like fabric and needles and machines and stuff like that. I have found some pretty comical like ladies ads in there too.
Yeah, there
One
is
of them
some
was for
stuff that's
like
just
this like face mask thing, which is so funny because those things have like totally come back around now, and I see people like getting in on them now.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
there's so many magazine lots in here.
Mhm.
And oh, someone's really excited about this one. It's already got two bids.
Oh,
What's in here? Maybe
what
they're
is
a
in there?
women's world.
Well, is there something that we need to know about that we didn't?
Lacal's
um,
Modern Priscilla, Women's World. I don't have I seen Women's World? I don't
I
know that
have a
I've
few
seen that.
Women's World. Yeah, I have a few women's. I'm trying to think. Jen gave me a big stack of magazines.
Hmm.
When we were, gosh, was it? We were at the
In
Schmuckbuilder,
Pennsylvania.
I think. Yeah, and I have them on my table. I just like I wanted to start scanning them and rip the space time continuing to give cake an extra day.
Yeah, more magazines. Let's see. Special vintage fabrics from the Judy Roche collection. Is it Roche? Roche?
I don't know.
Roche?
Yeah, I wasn't familiar, so
Ooh, this Ohio Star is really pretty. Look, more baskets. This is definitely the person who's like, I want to get into baskets. There's three quilts here. These
and these
carriage
carriage
blankets look
blankets,
interesting.
yes, they're very interesting. And I feel like I saw a carriage blanket one time in an antique store, and it must have been in very good condition, because when I looked at it, I was like, oh, this is one of those. And I don't know what you call these blankets. They're the woven things, but they'll weave a picture into it.
Hmm.
They're not like, I don't know how to describe them. That's just what I thought it was. One of those modern like. And then I later found out, like, no, this is actually an antique thing. That's
Yeah, when I saw these, at first I thought they were modern, and then I'm like, wow, Victorian. Okay. Like
yeah,
they were doing they were doing
yeah.
stuff.
I like the dog one. I think the dog one's pretty cool.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
Pendleton scraps. I'm interested in this lot just because I'm very curious. How did they get scraps like that? Was it a case? So I thought of all of these different possibilities, and probably none of them are right. But probably the most likely one is they're mill end things.
Hmm.
You can get mill end stuff, or let's see, maybe other wool blankets like.
Cut and lengths as if to make scarves. So it could be
Oh,
a repurposed scenario.
I had literally not thought of that. I had thought
Oh, that
maybe.
was my first thought.
Really? I see. I've never seen scarves like that.
I haven't either, but just because we're so ripe in the repurposing era.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good
Um,
point. I don't know. Oh, I don't know. Pendleton blankets are very nice, but I don't know that I would want one around my neck. I mean, that's kind of scratchy. Janet, do you mean the chenille thing you do with panels? No, they're, I don't know what you call them. Literally everyone I know has one except for me. They're sort of like, I don't know, places like Cracker Barrel sell them, and it'll be like, it could be for anything. Like my in-laws have one that's for like the Raiders, and they also have one that is for some historical building. Like, and they're
hmm.
usually two colors, and one side will be like, say it's a house, the house will be blue and the background's white, and then you flip it over and the house is white and the background's blue. So it's like a
Oh,
coverlet, but they're these modern, and they're, I don't know what they're called. Everybody has one though.
I know what you're talking about, but I don't know what they're called either. I don't know what they're called. This, it's so funny. We were talking about pansies earlier. This is one of my favorite like kit quilts because of the
Mm-hmm.
pansies. More tops here for sale.
There's a bunch of yo-yos, aren't there? There's not. That's not the only yo-yo.
Say what?
I think there's more yo-yos, aren't there? I don't think that's the only yo-yo piece, is it?
No, we passed them earlier.
Oh, did we? And I just wasn't looking. Okay.
Here's some vintage wools,
Mm-hmm.
blankets. This tulip quilt's interesting.
Yeah, I thought
I
that
feel like I've
was
seen that
kind of cute.
before.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. You have to look at it, but I suspect that might be a newspaper pattern. Maybe. I'm not sure. It's got that vibe to it, so
Hmm.
I don't know.
Hmm.
Very cute.
Let me see if it do. Mhm. Yeah, I don't see anything
Hi,
that says it.
Ivy. Stadium blankets. Is that what they are?
No.
I feel like they're. I feel like they're called coverlets or something, but it's not not the historical like fascinating coverlets that we study. even though they're not my thing. It's still like, I don't know.
Here's an
I'll
assortment
find
of
I'll
over
find a
a
picture for
hundred
next time.
blocks. Yeah, you're gonna have to find out. But yeah, here's an
100
assortment of over a
blocks.
hundred blocks.
Wow.
Here's some more. There you go. Here's some more yo-yos.
Yeah, I thought there was. Yeah, I thought there was something like that.
And then more tops. Let's see, vintage bars, quilt red work.
Ooh, that's chenille.
Yeah.
I wonder if that blue thing is the chenille. This
Here's
other
some
Sue.
really depressed looking Sues.
Yeah, that's the other Sue. And I can't remember. Can you click on it and open it bigger? I don't think that this is the Sue. Yeah, these are just the Sues that are playing. There's ones that look kind of similar that are they're Sues, but they're nursery rhyme Sues. And at first I
Oh.
thought that's what it was, and I opened, I was like, no, these are just Sues playing, but they look very similar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a couple other. There's this. I guess I'm gonna call it a myth because I don't know if it's true or not, and I feel like it really wouldn't be true. But there's this thing I hear about that like auction houses will put like the junkier stuff at the end. And I don't know. Some of this does not look junky to me.
Huh?
I know they'll like put things together that maybe like the condition's not stellar, but like this does not look junky.
No,
Like
I don't know. That would
that's
be
why
an
I'm like,
interesting question to ask Dana,
yeah.
because I feel like of all the, I'm not currently really watching auctions a whole lot right now, other than Dana's. But I feel like some auction houses they just have like a cadence they take. The one auction house that's really close to me that I've won a lot of things from them, they always have the furniture last.
Mm.
Now the quilts and textiles and things will be mixed in there somewhere in the middle,
I
but
hate that.
I know. But yeah, they typically will have like the artwork and stuff and like big collectibles first, and then they have the little collectibles and toys and things, and then they have paintings and so on. And it's pretty consistent the way they do
Hmm.
it. So yeah, I'd be interested to look at like how different auction houses do, what they do, because I'm sure they're looking at it from a like a mental, what.
Some of them I've heard just say whatever the lots go in the rows of whatever we pick up and take pictures of. Like,
Yeah, and that also makes sense because you think like if especially with this like the fact that you can now preview online and not you don't have to go
hmm
there, and it probably doesn't matter as much because people will say, well, I already have my eye on this thing, and if it's the first lot, I'll be there when the auction starts, and if it's the last lot, I might wait. But I can also see the mentality of like, you maybe don't want to have your showstopper be the first lot because you want to give people a chance, you know, and
well,
then
and that makes a lot of sense given when we've done live viewings of auctions and you see the numbers
they
dwindle and then they get
slowly
really
rise.
big.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really curious to see what these lots here do with the labeled fabric.
The labels, yeah, I'm interested to see that too. Historically, what I've noticed with Dana is when she does feed sacks, they go pretty high. People are still paying in that range right there that she's got. People are still paying that much for feed sacks, and for smaller lots of them too. I
Hmm.
know at one
Yeah,
time
there's a
for
lot here.
yeah for $200 at one time you could get like a heap of them, and these are smaller quantities. Although I have to say these are nice sets.
Hmm. Yeah, and a lot of sets. Like if someone was really
Oh, the
like
cheater
wanted to
one,
quote like
I
buy a collection,
yeah,
they could spend a good chunk of money here on
yeah,
this auction
yep.
buying a collection.
Hmm. That lot, the cheater lot, I have my eye on that, but I don't have any high hopes.
Yeah, that's the end of hers. The only other thing real quick that I have to just mention that I just remembered is I recently posted
Oh yeah.
some new kind of, quilt nerding yard sale books, but I wanted to remind people that there are old ones that had been posted um that are still like available. The only ones that had come like if they're sold, I had like put down here that they had sold. But yeah, there's still stuff in here. Like this one had already sold. This one had sold immediately. I know a
Yeah.
couple of you have already reached out. But keep looking into this stuff. And then obviously if there's something particular you're looking for, I should probably take a picture of the stack of books that is sitting over here as part of the yard sale. It's really
Yeah.
big. So you're welcome to ask me if there's something particular that you um are looking for because this yard sale supports us.
Yeah. And I would say because somebody DM'd me and I was like, I don't know, I'll tell Jill about it so she'll let you know, and you're like, you have to get their PayPal. So if you're gonna claim a book, obviously you need to DM us, but it's probably just go ahead and send us the email to send you a PayPal invoice.
Yeah.
And that's quiltnerding@gmail.com.
Yeah, I owe Kate a message, and Janet was yakking with me earlier, so don't worry, y'all. The stuff you have claimed,
Yeah,
it
Jill's on
will.
top of this stuff, you guys. Like, you don't have to worry when you have been communicating with Jill. Now, when you've been communicating with me, follow up repeatedly.
And you know what? She's not wrong because like I often have to follow up with
I
her.
have the best of intentions, you know.
Well, that was stream 1 of 2025.
I know. Can I, before we end, can I just throw one
Oh,
thing out there?
oh, I don't want that. Take that back.
No, I'm not sending that. So I've talked about this on my stream, and I haven't I brought it up once or twice, but it's written in stone now. So in February, on Valentine's Day, I am want to do a Palentine's slash Galentine's Day, and it's gonna be a private stream. You do need to be a subscriber of my stream, and we're just gonna watch a very cool documentary about the Venice Biennale from 1964, which is the gigantic art, whatever you call it. It's a enormous. Like if you are in the Venice Biennale even today, the sun sets on you because you are an artist who's made it. You would know the names of people that were in the Venice Biennale.
Why don't you put the link to your Twitch in the chat there, dear?
I certainly will.
And when you say they have to be a subscriber,
Yes.
they have to be a paid subscriber?
Yes, they need to be a paid subscriber. Is remember, I know it's terrible. Every platform has a different terminology. So when you subscribe here on YouTube, you're just following us. Over on Twitch, when you subscribe, it means you give me money. If you don't want to subscribe over Twitch, you just follow. So the lingo can be very confusing. But yes, paid subscriber, it's $5.99 a month. But if you have Amazon Prime, you can log in with your Amazon Prime. You get the choice of one free channel to follow, and you could change it up every month. I mean, if you get tired of me and you want to follow somebody else, you can. I mean, I would be
Well, and
sad.
I don't know if it's changed, if anyone can say anything, but I will say if you do have an Amazon Prime and you do want to subscribe to Cake, you have to like be on a computer usually to do that.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Twitch in general, I know is sometimes it's just a little squinky when you're on a phone or a tablet. I prefer it on a computer as well. But anyway, point being, it's going to be a private party, and we're going to watch this very awesome documentary. It just came out. It's about Robert Rauschenberg and how the system was rigged so that Robert Rauschenberg won the 1964 Venice Biennale.
Well, and that's a nice little
Yeah.
thing to hang out with your friends and do some sewing and stuff like that. I will say for anyone that's like, oh, $5.99 to subscribe to Cake, she streams twice a week. So $5.99 a month for twice a week. Plus other things that she does, just
We're reading this book, and you don't have to read it. I read it to you.
that's true.
And sometimes I remember that it's not this book. This book.
Well, and speaking of books, Robin came in
Yes.
late, so she just asked about the assignment for next week in our dress diary. Don't forget that if you forget to write it down right now, I do post it on the socials, but we're going to do the preface in chapter 1, which is pages 1 through 33, which I'm thinking Robin may have already read because
Yes.
she told on herself that she started reading ahead.
Yeah. I think my mom started reading ahead too because she's like, I'm a slow reader. I got to start now.
I am too. I'm a slow reader. Yep.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it.
But yeah, you usually, I mean, just it's the preface and chapter 1.
No, she's saying she only
Oh, you've only
read
read the
ahead
preface.
in the
Got it.
preface.
Sorry. Um, You know, when in doubt, I do know because, well, sometimes I'm too lazy to go look. Jill assigns about 30 pages.
Mm-hmm.
And unless it's an odd kind, like I know Marsha McDowell's book was kind of odd, we kind of like split things up differently, but it's usually like in a 30 pages and then get to an end of a chapter. Like that's where we're going to break.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
usually,
20 to
yeah.
30.
Yeah.
Janet says I'm not sure the Prime thing is still good. I know on the 23rd when I need to resubscribe was 4.99. Um, Janet, I'm pretty sure I still use Prime to subscribe to my partner's channel.
I use Prime
Um,
on I think I use Prime on Mama as a Fan's channel. I was I go
yeah.
back and forth between her and Kenny because when Kenny's streaming regularly, I give him my he's a friend, and when he's not
Mhm.
streaming regularly, I switch over to Mama.
Oh yeah,
So
so we've got Robin and LJ here saying I still use Prime.
yeah,
Yeah, just
it's
Janet, just always check on a computer.
yeah, and
It's
I
just
will tell
garbage on your
you,
phone.
Prime can be a little persnickety. And Janet, I assume that you've done the Prime thing before, so you might know this. But if you are gonna subscribe to something on Twitch, like Jill's saying, do the computer. But if you have trouble with Prime, just let me know. You know, send me a message. Any of the places you know where I am, because it is a little persnickety, and you do have to do it every month. You can't do like a 6 month subscription with Prime.
Mhm.
So
Alrighty, any last things?
I don't think so. I mean, just to give a little plug for my stream on Thursday, Jill will be there. We're doing Am I the A-hole? I found a huge pile of craft sewing, quilting related of those, and they're always fun and they're
Mm-hmm.
silly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then next week we're gonna get back to reading in the Heritage of Cotton, and also we've got Stitch and Glitch
There's lots, and my birthday.
and your birthday. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a national holiday. It went without saying.
Just everyone pray that like this like really like weird feeling I have right now does not become anything. Everybody just say all the words, knock on all the wood, please, because that would it wouldn't be anything new to not be well on my birthday.
Yeah,
But
tis the season of colds and flu. So that's why I had to give you an eye roll for January being the best birthdays, because I can't imagine that they are.
well, I didn't say the actual birthday itself was the best, just like we're the best ones. Like,
Gotcha. I see how it is.
Yeah. Yeah. On that note, I'm gonna finally go eat something.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We have a great evening, and we will see ya soon. Elderberry. Robin saying
I have done
elderberry.
elderberry. Mm-hmm. All right. Good night, everyone.
Bye.